what democracy looks like. Nigerians, this is what democracy looks like. This is what we are enjoying in the Western world. We are free, even though we are of different skin. We are Africans in the Western world, but we are free. We enjoy freedom in a white man's country. What does that tell you? We are more free in a white man's country than in Africa, than in Nigeria. What does that tell you? This is what democracy looks like. Watch and enjoy.
Look at that. It is reported that about 7 million people participated in the protests. Trump and Republican leaders have labeled the protests as anti-American. However, we saw states like Idaho, a deeply conservative state, turn out dozens of protesters. The scale and organization of these demonstrations reflect deep political divisions in America, with citizens exercising their constitutional rights, even as political leaders debate the legitimacy and impact of mass protests on governance and national unity. You didn't see where they tried to stifle this protest. Across all 50 states, yes, we saw some police out there, but this is their constitutional right. Vimbai.
I think this is the key takeaway. Whether you're pro or anti this protest, the takeaway is that it was allowed to happen. It was done so in an orderly way. We yet to hear, reports of skirmishes with the law enforcement officials and so forth. And this is in essence what people are saying. People are saying that whether you stand with us or whether you don't agree with our cause, we should still be allowed to express ourselves in a free way and in an orderly and secure way. Now, for me, what's happening in America is something that I've drawn parallels with Nigeria on several occasions, especially because we exercise the presidential system of governance. And of course, we know what the tension that's currently happening between the center, the federal center, Donald Trump, and opposition states, with regards to security issues, with regards to a number of other ideological differences. And now this is culminating in people coming out to say, well, we feel that this government is becoming increasingly authoritarian and we disagree with this. Of course, the response from Donald Trump is that, well, all of this is sponsored, it's anti-American and it's just sponsored to make me look bad. But the takeaway is the fact that the people are allowed to take to the streets and express themselves, whether they are sponsored or not, whether they stand right or not. History will judge them, and history on several occasions has vindicated millions of Americans who have come out to protest in the streets to be able to voice their concerns. Now, the deepest concern in the global south is a phenomenon called hijacking protests that we see. We've seen protests become increasingly violent in a number of places. Now, it's almost like it's like a catch-22 situations, because the more you stifle these outings, the more people are going to become aggressive in wanting to come out. What are some examples? You look at Kenya, you look at Nepal, there's several examples that we can look at where protests have turned extremely violent, and that is because there's a huge attempt to try and quell them. There's a huge attempt to try and take away people's rights to protest, and of course the outcome of that is violence. I hear in Abuja a number of people have been arrested this morning. That's besides the tear gas and the bullets that are flying around. And I just say, why can't we just trust our security services to ensure that protesters are kept safe, that they stick to whatever demarcated area has been allotted to them? That's most importantly. And number two, it does not need to degenerate. This narrative of protests being hijacked is an unfortunate one, and it needs to be brought to an end, and it's up to the police to protect protesters. So
protest